Here we go. I think we're starting to record. It says recording in 3, 2, 1. Action. Hello, friends. It's Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today is September 22nd, 2020. And we're in the middle of insanity. And helping me sort it all out today is board chair of Independent California, Hal Lohr. How are you doing today, Hal?
Doing just fine, Sam. How are you?
Well, I mean, I'm doing okay, I guess. I just got an article posted on my website, an interview that was censored off YouTube. So that was a lot of work, but I finally got it up on the internet, and so that made me happy. I got some satisfaction, so I'm feeling okay, better than I was.
Excellent.
Before all the big tech censorship in my life. But I knew that if I kept doing my show and telling the truth, then they would censor me, which is kind of my goal. So it's kind of a win-win-win, but it's very frustrating to go through being censored by big tech.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's much worse if they ignore you.
Well, what did Gandhi say? First they ignore you, then they fight you, and then you win? To paraphrase?
The quote is, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win.
There you go. I'm glad you helped me out with that. But yeah, so I mean, I guess I'm in the they're fighting me phase right now. So what's going on? Let's talk about Independent California. Gavin Newsom says we're a nation state. They're signing secret deals with China. What the hell is going on with California? Are we an independent nation state? Will California secede from the union if the bad orange man is elected as president for a second term?
Short answer, yes.
Yes. And how will this happen constitutionally without starting a civil war?
Well, first off, it has to start in the state of California. We have to get 40 million Californians on board. So start with the initiative process. And first we will work to, with the initiative we have now, we will work to get a commission to look at independence, to look at the ins and outs of it. Then it'll put to the people, and then after that it will go up the chain through the states, and eventually to a vote in Congress.
I love when we all have the virtual background without the right lighting, and everybody's like, yeah, but that's how you get down now. So, I mean, what does it take? It takes 2/3 of the state. It takes a constitutional convention and 2/3 of the states to vote in favor of secession for it to be done constitutionally, correct?
Actually, it can be done with a majority vote.
It doesn't need to be 2/3 of the state.
Does not necessarily need to be 2/3 of the states. In fact, actually, if
the
red states decided that California's got to go, they're done with California, they could put it on the floor and put it through, and yeah, it would be on its way.
So it takes 26 states then, huh?
Or the appropriate number of people in Congress, then the Senate, then et cetera, yes.
And so why would they go along with this? Are we going to be independent of everybody? I understand the idea. We want out of the American empire, right? That's the idea behind it, which I don't disagree with. There is an evil American empire that has done these unconstitutional, illegal foreign wars of aggression all over the world, and that needs to be dealt with. America, which we still are right now, is going to have to pay the price at some point for these illegal foreign wars of aggression.
Between America's spending, taxes, wars, it's just no longer a good deal for California. So, I mean, we've talked about this.
Give me your elevator pitch. Sell it to me. Sell it to our viewers right now. Sell it. Why do we need an independent California? Sell it.
Well, if we ever want to be in charge of our own destiny, if we ever want our tax dollars that we earn here spent here, if we ever want to get out of the entanglements of endless wars, if we want to ever not have our social policies that 80% of Californians disagree with basically legislated 2,500 miles away, then yeah, we need to be an independent country.
Okay, so and we're going to do that non-violently?
Yes.
And so tell me about these chapters that you're setting up for your activism. What is Independent California doing? That red star looks very similar to Red China's star, but
actually I just took the red star off of our California flag.
Okay, I know, and they're acting like communist dictatorship and state government in this state right now. But
not to wax historical here, but the red star on our flag goes back to
tell me about that, because I confuse it with the red star of communist China.
We did it a lot actually, but 1836, the original California independent flag, known as the Alvarado flag, was basically just a big white field with a big red star on it. And when they did the Bear Rebellion and then they did the state flag, they simply brought it forward. Our red Lone Star actually, I believe, supersedes Texas's white star by a couple of years. So it's a classic piece of California. And whenever anyone asks me, I always tell them, it's like, well, if you look at Russia, you look at China, you look at the communist countries, generally speaking, they use gold stars on red flags, not necessarily red flags on red stars on white flags.
Okay, so Independent California does not advocate communism or socialism.
No, not at all.
That's good to hear.
We are by nature. Well, we're a 501c4. We can't advocate politically for a single political system anyway.
Yeah, they don't tie your hands with the free speech on that.
We can't endorse candidates. We can't come out and openly endorse people for.
But you can advocate for causes, right?
Causes, yes. Causes.
So, what type of government would you like to see an independent sovereign California have? Would it be a republic? Would it be a democracy? Would it be a dictatorship? What form of government would independent California like to see a sovereign California have?
Well, personally, the first answer to that is a smaller one.
A smaller one, huh?
Smaller one. Smaller. We
saw a story come out. Check this out. We just saw a story come out today. Says the EDD, the Employment Development Department that applies the unemployment for people, it doesn't function. So we have to shut it down here in California for 2 weeks. That's hurting people big time. That's a failure of the state government, but yet it goes on. And so people wouldn't be on unemployment if we didn't have the COVID lockdown, phony baloney nonsense. But so we see a failure of state government right there. Recent story came out. The California government is a failure. They need to resign. These people are incompetent. They're corrupt. And they truly make me sick to my stomach because I'm a taxpayer and I feed into the system of corruption.
Well, I think we're
it's hurting people. They say all day how much they care, and now they've caused people to be unemployed, and now they don't even let them get their unemployment benefits because of their, just massive dysfunction, corruption, insanity. It's like, it's unacceptable. This is not a functioning government. Right now, the state government of California is acting like a third world country that is a failed state. I mean, let's be honest about the situation. That is what is happening on the ground level. People are calling me pissed off. Why can't I get my unemployment from my work? I'm like, I'm not the EDD, man. I don't have any authority over that. We did all the paperwork right. We know the program. It's not my fault. But I got people that got laid off from picking grapes over here in the Central Valley, Fresno, California, and they're pissed off because they can't get unemployment. I'm like, hey, man, it's not on me. It's on your state government. Well, so, I mean, that's what I'm dealing with today. Okay. On a daily basis, I deal with this stuff. And it's really frustrating and disgusting, honestly. Those people paid into unemployment. My company pays into unemployment. Yes. They deserve the benefits, even though I don't even agree with any of it. That's the system we have now. And so let's make it work. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I think 2020 has been a parade of government failure from top.
Parade, yeah. That's a good way to
arguably speaking, it would be a very nice, gentle way to just to say we have watched government basically fail up and down. You know, we've 2020's pointed out the holes in our government at this point. I mean, we don't have. It's like obviously there is major dysfunction all
at every level, federal, state, local, every level. These people are complete failure. I'd be embarrassed if I was you, government, working for the government. I'd be ashamed and embarrassed at this point. But they say no, iron fist. You will do what we say. I got news for you, government. This ain't North Korea. You didn't get the guns. The Patriots got answers for you. And I will never call for violence on this show, but it's getting to that point where people are going to take up arms. They're going to take up pitchforks and torches against these people because of how tyrannical they're acting towards us.
Well, that it is a famous saying.
I'm warning them. I'm warning the government. Stand down because the people are so pissed off right now and we don't want violence. Okay. I don't want violence. So stand down, government. I'm warning you.
Oliver Cromwell said when people can no longer find words, they reach for their swords.
Right? So enough of my rants about how dysfunctional the government is. Tell me about the chapters, about Independent California. How do people establish these chapters, get the activism going? Explain that to my audience here.
All right. California activism in California and activism for Independent California, especially on this initiative we have in front of us. We need to get this in front of the voters and in front of people all the way across California. This is not going to happen. There's no big money behind this. So the only way to do that is through individual people.
Because it takes they pay paid signature gatherers to go out there. Those is people you see sitting in front of the shopping center. They're paid unless they have that activism in their heart and the passion for the cause that they're promoting. Right.
If you see any initiative that basically opened up and got all the signatures that were required within 2 weeks, yeah, it was paid for. It was bought and paid for. That's not the case with this. California independence has been a grassroots thing right from the start, and we are working to spread the message. The best way to do this on a grassroots basis, and comes from everything from marijuana legalization to LGBTQ marriage. Yeah. There's no big corporation out there who's willing to finance us on this. So it has to happen door to door. It has to happen person to person. That means that people all across the state, and the way that happens is people go to independentca.org and basically
independentca.org. Say it again, independentca.org.
That's www.independentca.org.
That's right. Plug it. You can't. That's where you go to get involved. Okay, continue.
And then we help. Then we help you. You start with yourself, a few people local. It's you, it's the computer, it's the internet, it's local activism, and the ability to talk to people. I mean, I know it's a strange thing in our political climate these days, but A small group of people actually talking to people can still work.
Well, they want to make COVID says that's illegal. You're not allowed to talk to anybody.
We're doing it. We're talking now. So a lot of this is going to happen on the internet.
It's been a battle. They're censoring the heck out of the internet right now. You can't talk bad about COVID. The UN and World Health Organization run my life now. That's what they're telling me.
Well, by doing it this way, we basically form up an organization where it's people, it's human beings, it's real life. It's just real life people in communities across California. Talking about the idea that maybe we have a different future.
So you're telling me America is a failed country? Is that what this is coming down to? And we need to bail ourselves out. We need to save ourselves here in California and get out of the failed state that is America, USA.
I don't see the divisions that are happening in America ending anytime soon. I don't see the American government being able to get past $27 trillion in debt anytime soon, or get themselves extricated from wars, or basically what I've always said was, in my lifetime, I've watched the American government, watched the U.S. government basically not be able to do anything.
It's USA government. It's a corporate government, but that's a separate issue.
Well, it's one of those things where when you have a government where they don't even want to talk about governing unless you can write them a really big check.
Yeah.
There's no.
Obviously, Washington D.C. obviously doesn't serve their constituents' wants and needs anymore. It's the lobbyists from special interest groups who they serve. It's obvious, right? Corrupt.
Well, you've got a picture of Kamala Harris up behind you. It's like not to say anything bad about a person I've never met in my life, but
the rumor is that she had sex with Willie Brown, and that's how she went up the political ladder. I mean, that's right out of California politics.
Oh, it wouldn't be
mayor of San Francisco.
Probably wouldn't be the first person to do it either. But the truth is, the only thing that I can really say, and it's undeniable, it's like she kind of has a history of jumping to the next office before the paint's dried on the door from the last one.
Right. So she's just about political power and doesn't give a damn about the people she supposedly represents.
And if that is the way that Washington is going to work for us from now until the end of time,
sure seems that way.
Maybe it's a better idea for us to form those chapters and to talk to each other and to maybe look at governing at home.
I hear you. So Independent California is putting the power back in the people's hands, but it's all incumbent on the people to take on your civic responsibility, get involved in politics, and make a change.
No one said it would be easy, but yes, that's really the only thing that's ever made any kind of change for the better in the world. That's really the only thing. I mean, that's how it works.
So we're not going to rely on these corrupt political leaders to care about us. That's foolish. Obviously, they have their own interests, and they care about that, not the people that they supposedly represent.
Right. And left, right. It's kind of
left, right, center. It doesn't matter. None of these people represent you.
Well, the conversation today is a question. How many people left, right, and center, regardless of political parties, houses burned down that last week? Whether you're...
The fire didn't care.
The fire doesn't care. The fire doesn't care.
The arsonists don't care, right? The arsonists don't care. But they want to say it's climate change all day. I just heard on the radio today in Sequoia, they arrested an illegal alien for starting arson because he wanted to get deported back to Mexico. That's what they told me on the radio. Is that true? I don't know. It could be all fake, but that's what the radio news told me this morning on my way to work.
The truth is, if that is true, that's a criminal matter. But from a California matter, it's like.
But my point is that
left, right, or center. Who's coming to help those people whose houses got burned down? I mean, it's like that's not. It's like Obviously, if
Calvin's
it is an
asking-
arsonist, he's not gonna pay for all those houses
well,
or that infrastructure that got destroyed.
FEMA, right? I mean, the Galvin's asking the federal government for another bailout because California is bankrupt, and so now they want another federal government bailout for emergency relief. And so I guess they're going to get it because the federal government's not going to say no emergency relief for wildfires for you. But then we just keep kicking the can down the road, and we never resolve any of these issues.
Well, they apparently they haven't paid us for the Paradise Fire yet, so they're a fire behind. But I will put it this way.
Let me get off into a rant about that real quick. There's evidence that these fires are caused by arsonists and direct energy weapons. Okay.
Interesting.
And so I suggest everybody do your research on that. The Department of Defense, our federal government, just announced like 2 days ago that China and Russia, and the USA has direct energy weapons. Okay. And that's from the Department of Defense. Everybody go look it up online. I'll put the link in the description of this video. So we have arsonists, direct energy weapons, and climate change. So come on, man. We got big problems over here. And I guess the federal government's not bailing us out. Like you say, I was not aware that they didn't bail out the Paradise Fire.
We have independent California chapter leads who are still waiting for that money to come in to help them rebuild their lives and their homes.
Yeah.
And the question goes, it's like, what's the difference between having your house burned down in a fire in California or having it destroyed in a hurricane in Florida? And the main difference is that in Florida, you'll get the check.
Well, see, the issue, but there's also the issue of no federal funding for sanctuary states, right?
Yeah, that's a question mark that says, and that would, I guess you could make that argument, except for the fact that we paid for that. It's like we paid into FEMA. Our tax money pays into that. Whether they like our politics or not doesn't matter. We paid for it. We paid for it.
They're violating federal law with sanctuary state policy.
Well, yeah, I mean, take your pick on where the corruption is.
It's everywhere. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Take your pick, and we'll flip a coin to decide who's the most corrupt. And like I said, and it's like that's what we've been talking, and that's part of our conversation. If we're going to make any kind of change from California, we either have to try to turn America more like California, and they have no interest in doing that, or we have to basically say that maybe we're not able to live in the same house anymore. Maybe it's time to move out of mom and dad's house, and we can do this on our own, and we can keep our money here, and we can take care of our own problems, or not. I mean, we at least at this point, if we make a mistake, it's our mistake.
Well, it's our mistake right now because the local government here, I take it back to local, okay? Fresno City Council is allowing homeless camps to pop up everywhere, all along the freeway. We're starting to look like a third world country over here in Fresno, California, and it's truly disgusting. And something needs to be done about. And I'm all about compassion for drug addicts, junkies, mentally ill people. The programs are there. These people don't want to take advantage of the program. Something needs to be done because we're devolving into a third world country at this point. It's never been this bad. Okay.
Yeah, those federal mental health programs that went away 30 years ago didn't help this matter.
That didn't help, but we got local programs here, man, and we can't continue to blame it on the federal government because the streets need to be cleaned up, man, and they just want to say everything's legal here now unless we want to hey, I want to end the war on drugs, but these people are junkies that need serious treatment because when your life's about shooting up drugs, then you devolve into total squalor, and it's sad. I want these people to be helped, but they need. I don't want to use government force against them, but I don't see any other choice at this point. We're running out of time here.
Yes.
This Zoom meeting, it doesn't track the time. I wanted to do a half hour with you. I want to do more shows with you. You're very interesting. I love your activism. Independent California, starting up the chapters, and you guys are working through it on the grassroots. I know it's an uphill battle. You don't have the money to pay paid signature gatherers. So how can people get involved? Tell me one more time.
All right. Anybody wanting to get involved, and this crosses all political lines. Go to www.independenceca.org. That's www.ca.org or www.ca.org, independenceca.org.
And you'll help them set up a chapter in their local area.
And we will help them. It's like we will have people. We're setting up people throughout California to assist people in setting up their chapters and getting it, and basically getting started in California activism.
That's awesome, man. And hey, you need to take responsibility in your civic life, because they always say, "Oh, I don't care about politics." Well, politics cares about you, people, and you need to get involved if you want to see some change. Because relying on any government, local, state, federal, is wrong. You're a fool. These people don't care about you. It should be more than obvious by now. You need to take political action in your own life if you want to see real change that's going to help you and benefit you, and not benefit the quote 99% and the elite. You need to take responsibility for yourself and your own family, and Independent California is giving you that opportunity.
Yeah, it would. If you find yourself, basically, if your political activism is yelling at the news on the television,
I go personally to the news.
Maybe you can do better.
I go personally to the news when they're doing reports and yell at them in person myself, but I'm an extreme. They call me radical, but that's how I get it done for myself. And that's what needs to be done. These people, these lying criminals, need to be shamed to their face and have fun with it. I mean, because we still have our First Amendment right. And so make a thing of it. Make it a family day. They're oppressing you. Now we're facing real oppression now. And so let's fight back against it and take back our state sovereignty, our personal sovereignty, because we are sovereign, sentient beings with natural rights given to us by our Creator that no government, no man can take away. We're above that. And so people need to come to this realization. I appreciate you coming on the show today. Again, Hal, to plug Independent California. We're trying to make real change here, and we're going to keep on working, okay? Because it's a constant grind every day, I know. And so we have to keep on grinding, because the government's out there grinding against you, figuring out schemes how to rip you off, put you down, hold you down. But they cannot defeat us, because they don't have the soul in it that independent grassroots activists do. And so eventually we will overcome and win, but it's going to be a long battle, and we're in for a long battle. And so don't think that you're going to get instant gratification out of this, but you're going to learn, you're going to figure things out, and you're going to get inspired to take control of your own political life.
Liberty has no expiration date.
Liberty is the battle. The fight for liberty is an eternal battle.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you very much, Hal, for coming on the show. Peace, love, and liberty. Subscribe to this channel, speak out, and take action.